So Ian, thanks for doing this real quick. First of all, let's talk about, did Brandon reach out to you for the basketball tournament? Like, what is your thoughts on the basketball tournament as a whole, and then like playing for the NMSU team?
Yeah, Brandon Mason, he reached out to me, I want to say maybe like three months ago or something, and or maybe longer than that. And he was just saying it was an idea, and he think that this year he's gonna be able to get Mexico State a team in the tournament. And so when he did, I was like, man, I'm all in. So yeah, man, and just the fact of us having a team in there this year, it's just pretty cool because I just feel like New Mexico State is always, sort of kind of like an underdog or don't have a lot of resources or whatever the case may be. So for them to be able to participate in something like this is just pretty cool for the university.
As a pro yourself, like what do you know of the TBT? Like, what do you watch it when you have a chance? Like, I think it's a pretty high level tournament. So like, what are your thoughts on it just as a whole?
Yeah, nah, man, I definitely watch it because if you think about it, in the summertime, it's not really no basketball on besides a little bit of NBA Summer League. And so the TBT has just filled that void so nicely. Like we all watch it, we all been tuned in. Um, I know that, everybody go out there and give it they all because everybody want to get that 2 million, or whatever, 1 million, 2 million. So yeah, I always been locked in on the TBT for at least the last few years. So I'm just excited to be able to participate in it.
Something that I like about when they added you was some of the younger guys were here for like maybe 2, sometimes even 1 year. You're one of the younger guys that can still play that were here your whole career. So does that feel like it feels like NMSU, like you kind of grew up here and you spent a whole career here, where it's different now for college players, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it is pretty cool. Um, I kind of wish a couple more guys would have participated because I wanted it to feel like a sort of like a family reunion.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's still pretty cool because there's a good mixture of young guys, older guys, and I guess guys in between. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's all good, man. It's gonna be fun either way you look at it.
But do you feel like a different kind of connection to the school than maybe those younger guys do, just because you spent your entire career here?
Um, I'm not sure what the connection is they feel, you know what I'm saying? But I do feel, me personally, I have
Yeah.
I guess a good connection with the school because yeah, I did spend all 4 years there, and I even came back a couple times after I've been done with school. So yeah, I guess you can say that. Yeah, I feel a little bit of a different connection to the school, maybe a bigger connection than the younger guys do, especially the guys that probably spent less time at the school than I did.
So catch people up on yourself. I mean, after you left, you told me that you didn't play last season, but like, what's your career been like as a pro so far?
Well, I mean, like a lot of people know, when I first came out of school, I went to the G League out in LA. I did that for a season. Um, then after that, I started my overseas career, and then I went to Serbia, and then the following year I went to Poland, and then after that I did 2 straight seasons in Hungary. Um, this past season I didn't play anywhere because, well, I started off in the Middle East this past year out in October, but when I got out there, my body just didn't feel right. I just wasn't 100%. And so along with my body not feeling right, it wasn't like a great situation for me. Pretty unprofessional. But so I just figured, it's just best for me to come home and get my body right. So I ended up taking this whole season off. So that's another reason why I'm so looking forward to the TBT, because I feel like I'm 150% now. And I'm just trying to see how my body is going to respond to playing under the whistle again. So I'm for sure looking forward to it.
Um, something that I was glad that another reason I'm glad that you're on the roster was you're a point guard, a true point guard, but you can also score. You've proven that in college. And what's it like playing, like just when you played here, like you had to maybe look for your shot. As a pro and stuff like that, and with this roster, I feel like there's guys around you. So like, how is playing pro different than what you did in college? Like you're a true point guard now, it seems like, and that fits you better for a roster like this.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the difference between maybe pro and college is when you get to the pro level, those holes that needed to be filled on the college level is most likely filled on the pro level. So, for example, if I feel like you say, you know, I guess I'm in between like a pure point guard and a scoring point guard. But when I was in college, I kind of had to score more. But when I get to the pro level, I realized, oh, there's plenty of guys around me who can score. So I can be more of my natural self. You know, I can do a little bit of both. I can facilitate and I can score. You know, so I just feel like when you get to the pro level, you know, those holes that needed to be filled are usually filled up at the pro level. You know, things that you were lacking in college, you have it at the pro level.
And what do you know about the guys that you're going to be playing with for this team? I mean, it seems like a lot of the same thing that you just described. I mean, I think you played with Braxton right?
Yeah.
And then you
Yeah,
got
I played with
Lofton.
Braxton for 3 years, I think.
Yeah. So you got scorers on
Yeah.
this team. So what do you
Yeah,
think about the roster?
we have, man, I really love our roster, especially our guards. That's no slap in the face to our big men. I love our bigs as well, but our guards are going to be what's going to get us through.
Yeah.
We got a lot of guys who can put the ball in the hole. And I'm just so confident in our guards' abilities. And at the same time, I'm excited to be able to play with guys like like Jamar Young and Justin Hawkins, because these are older guys that I never got to suit up with these guys before, besides playing a little bit of open gym. So to be able to play under the whistle with these guys and know what they bring to the game is just exciting, man. And we even got another guy named Jerome Seegers, who I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but
I was
he's from
gonna
DC
ask
as well.
about that. I was gonna ask about you.
Yeah, he's from DC as well. That's one of my good friends. We grew up playing against each other. He started at Rutgers University and then he finished off at UNLV. And he's another dynamic guard too that I'm excited to get to play on the same team as him, because we always played against each other. We never got to play with each other. So I'm excited to be able to suit up with him and all the other guys as well, man. We got some really, really good guards. Evan Gilliard, crafty lefty, Terrell Brown, knockdown shooter. We just loaded, man. So I'm just so excited to get on the court with these dudes.
So you mentioned a couple things that I wanted to ask you about, starting with the guy that maybe Aggie fans aren't familiar with. You said you're both from the same place. I think he's out there in Vegas with you, right? Like, are you guys working out together? Like, what does he bring to the table?
Yeah, man, he's sort of like me, just a little more craftier in a sense. Like he's a scoring guard, quick. He can shoot. He can facilitate, get other guys involved. He plays defense. He plays the game between his ears, so he thinks the game. He's just a really good player, man, and I'm pretty sure the Aggie community is going to, like watching him play.
And you mentioned some of the older guys. So is that who you look forward to? Like, I was going to ask, like, if there's any guys that stand out on the roster that you're not familiar with, or guys that you're looking forward to reconnecting with.
Everybody I'm pretty much familiar with, besides maybe I think there's one guy, and forgive me, but I can't even remember the guy's name. But I think he's from up in Albuquerque. I think he's an older guy.
Okay.
Brandon Mason told me about him, but he's an older guy, but he's a really good shooter and stuff like that. But everybody else I'm super familiar with. But yeah, I think I'm just most excited to, like I said, one, to be able to team up with my guy Jerome Seegers, but another one is Jamar Young, the one who I mentioned earlier, because he's from Baltimore and I'm from DC.
Yeah.
And he's an older guy. And it's just pretty cool because I seen him playing against my older brother when I was growing up, like in AAU tournaments and stuff like that. And so for me to be able to, suit up with him, I've been looking forward to something like this for a while now. So it's just pretty cool to do it.
I think JY's back in the area. He's had a good pro career. Did you guys ever cross paths? I think you said you played in the Middle East. I think he was over there I could be wrong, but have you guys crossed paths?
Yeah, nah, we never have played against each other as pros. Never. You know, I've never played against anybody on the pro level that went to New Mexico State. Not that I can think of. Yeah, never. Ever. Like in an official game, never.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You had a obviously really successful career here. I did want to ask you about just playing with Pascal, though. Like, I want to ask about that. Obviously, that season didn't end the way that, when you think about that, the way that season ended, but then like what Pascal has become, like, what do you think about what he's done as a pro?
Well, for one, the way that last season ended when he was in school, it was a heartbreaker because it
Yeah.
was, it was a buzzer beater and all that. So it was for sure a heartbreaker. But I'm just happy to see him doing well, man. He's doing really, really well for himself. He's killing the league right now. His game is improving every year. It's just pretty cool to see somebody that you play with doing it at that level. So I'm super, super happy for him.
Did you think that he was going to be what he turned into? I mean, obviously he was talented, but like an all-star caliber max player.
I'm not going. I mean, I can't predict the future, and I would be lying if I said I've seen him turn into what he has become now. But he always had the work ethic, and he always been pretty skilled. What I tell people all the time is, what you seen in school, he had way more to his game in school. It was just our style of play. Like, if he was in a different system where they allowed him to do more things, like a little bit on the perimeter and show his skill set as a big, you would have seen how skilled he could have possibly become. So it's not surprising to me to see what he has become. Like I said, I didn't know about if he would be an all-star or anything like he is now, but he always had more to his game. So to
Okay.
see him, show the whole arsenal like he's doing now, it's not surprising to me. When Pascal first came to school, it was. I was just gonna say this real quick. When he first came to school during his red shirt summer, and he was playing against the team, I promise you, if I'm lying, I'm dying. I told Coach, I said, Coach, he's our best big man right now. And that was way back then, before he even stepped on the court. So I knew he had it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your best, or what's your memory of the pit, Ian, as a player playing in there against UNM?
My best memory is actually a memory of me when I wasn't even playing. Like it was my freshman year, right after I became eligible, because I didn't become eligible until the following January of the year that I actually enrolled in school. And the game before we played up at the pit, we played at I think we played at Drake, and then we had to go to the pit. And I just became eligible, so I didn't have much practice time. So of course I wasn't really in the rotation, but I was able to suit up. And I think this was 2014, and I think UNM still had, I want to say, Kendall Williams and Cameron Bairstow, the two big guys. They was really good, but I think they were the top 25 team that year. And the pit, man, that was my first time stepping in there, and it was so loud I could hardly hear myself think. And the fans talking crazy. I'm just sitting on the bench, and I'm just seeing how loud the game is. And we actually end up beating them that day up there, so that was like an upset win for them. I mean, for us. And it was just pretty cool to be in that environment, man. So that's probably my favorite memory from there, because after that year, it just didn't seem the same up there. Like it just seemed like something wasn't, that same energy that I felt that very first time, it just was never the same up there. So it definitely have to be that first one when we got a win up there.
I think that was maybe I think that's the only time you got him, when you were in the uniform. You did have 26 against them as a senior. So just you look forward to going back there. I'm sure there's going to be another good crowd, because I think New Mexico is a basketball state. They like their Lobos. Obviously, there's going to be some NMSU people there too. Like, what do you anticipate from that first game?
Yeah, just to touch on what you just said, you're right. Like that's the only win I've ever got against them, like actually in uniform. I had some pretty good games number-wise against them while I got on the court, but I never really beat them on the court. So I expect it to be a pretty good environment up there, but I expect to get a win this time of me actually suited up. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm basically expecting, man. So we just got to go out there and do it. But I'm definitely looking forward to the opportunity and the challenge.
Just to go back though, you did beat him in Las Cruces. I just want to make sure people, you did get him in Las Cruces.
Yeah. Right. We definitely got wins over them, but just up in the pit, I've only got one that, I wasn't even like really getting in the game. So
Yeah,
yeah,
man. Well, Ian,
for sure.
I appreciate the time, man, and I look forward to seeing you guys suit up. And I like the way the rosters come together, so it's good to talk to you.
Man, no problem, bro. I appreciate you reaching out to me, man, and giving me this opportunity, man. It's all love over it.
Thanks, Ian.